Hello, happy Saturday. Let me just say, first of all, I apologize for the lighting in this car right now. I know the sun is like right in my face. It is super, super sunny today. And it's Friday. It's your Saturday when you're watching this. And I am like running errands because I'm going to do tonight Peter's super big pajama party on my vlog. And I have to, in an hour and a half, I'm doing it. So I'm trying to get all my stuff done before then. I've been in my office all day today. And now I'm going home to let the pups out and to make something for dinner. And I think I'm gonna make these like lean cuisine things that I have. And then I was gonna go to Fresh Time actually, and I was going to get some like a fresh green juice there. And then I am going to do my live stream, and then I'm gonna read and go to bed tonight. But I mean, I'll do my vlog later. So you know, of course, there's gonna be a longer part to this later when I'm driving around. That sun is so intense, isn't it? And it doesn't make my beard look very good at all. So, how are you doing? What's going on? This has been my day today. I got up and I filmed a couple videos on my other channel. Well, I filmed my main video, my other channel, and then I went into my office and I wrote for a little while. And then I left there at about 6 o'clock. It's 6:35 right now. And then I got caught in traffic and I forgot to go to the bank. And then I ran to the post office. And now I'm going home. I'm gonna stop at Fresh Time, the grocery store, real quick, to do some grocerying. And then I'm going to, then I'm gonna do my live stream. I'm excited about it because I'm doing a real long one tonight. So, and Alex is gonna be at home, and he was like, "What's the theme of your live stream?" I was like, "I don't know." He's like, "Well," you have to have games if it's the pajama party. So he was giving me all these game suggestions. He was like 7 minutes in the closet. I was like, "How do I do that on a live stream?" So I'm trying to like think of cute ways to do this with the pajama party. We'll figure it out in a second. So anyway, let's see. I don't know what else to talk about right now. Somebody yesterday in my live stream asked me to talk about social anxiety, and I want to talk about that later tonight when I'm driving around and you guys can actually kind of see me a little bit because it's dark. See, it's so funny. I'm either in the sun and you can't see me because it's so bright, or I'm in the dark and you can't see me because just the light's on. It's like there's never any rhyme or reason to this thing I call life. Never any, none. Everything's really good today. I feel very calm. My clothes are starting to feel loose on me. Like, okay, so I wear a 2XL in t-shirts from Target, and I don't like, I'm just not somebody that likes my clothes to be super tight unless I'm thin. If I'm thin, then like I like to wear tighter stuff. And if I ever get to that point, you'll see it in my videos. Like I won't wear skin tight stuff, but I like to wear t-shirts that fit, you know? But when I'm like gutted and I'm like really insecure about my body, like I don't like to have a tight shirt that displays that even more. Do you know what I mean? Which is why, like, by and large, I was like trying to lift up my hat and I didn't realize I had it backwards. Which is why by and large I always wear like t-shirts that are loose on me. Like a lot of people actually ask me that, like they're like, your clothes are really loose. And I'm like, it's just, I'd rather be comfortable than cute, I guess. I don't know when you get to that age or that body size, but I talked to my healthy, I did a driving vlog, imagine that, on my healthy weight loss channel, and I talked on there about how I'm like, we're going to Miami next week. I'm very excited about it, but I'm very nervous about it at the same time, as far as eating, because that's a big part of our trips always, is going out to eat. And Alex and I are like picking like good restaurants to go to while we're in Miami. We want to try some new places, and I'm just a little worried about my options while I'm there. So my initial response is just to say fuck it and eat what I want to eat and drink soda and all that stuff, but I don't want to have a complete backlash while I'm on vacation. So I'm going to try to do the best I can. I said on there that I'm not setting my expectations too high, and I'm not going to go into it like I'm going to fail. I want to you know, just take it day by day, because I think that's what's best for me. So anyway, yeah, that's what's going on right now in my life. And I mean, it is absolutely beautiful today. It's 87, not a cloud in the sky, and it's really pretty. It was a little hazy actually earlier, which was interesting because we never kind of get that kind of weather. We never get that kind of weather in Indianapolis. Usually this kind of weather is a predecessor to like downpour thunderstorms. And I actually was looking at the weather last night for Miami while we're there, and it's like rain, 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 rain. But isn't that normal? Like, doesn't Miami get a lot of like rain in the summer? So I shouldn't be too upset about that, should I? Did you guys do that? Like, before you go on a vacation, you look at like what the weather's supposed to be there, and then you're like so disappointed because you're like, oh, it's gonna rain every day. But then you get there and it doesn't rain every day. When I was growing up in high school, I was really lucky because my dad loved to sail, and he loved to scuba dive and snorkel. And so we went to the Caribbean a lot. And I mean, I've gone to so many islands in the Caribbean, and I just feel like so blessed about that. But like, before we would go, I would always like look up and see what the weather was gonna be like. And I was like, it's gonna rain all next week. And my dad would be like, Peter, the Caribbean is always beautiful from like in the morning all the way till 2 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And then you have a afternoon rainstorm, and then it's beautiful. So just stop borrowing trouble. My mom and dad both told me that. So today, I don't borrow trouble. Okay, I'm going into Fresh Time, and I'm gonna get my stuff, and I will be back later tonight. You guys want a quick little haul of what I bought? Okay. So first I got these Cedars baked garlic pita chips, which I'm totally addicted to right now, and I dipped the hummus and the guacamole in it. They're so good. And they are 100 calories, 6 servings for the whole thing. 3.5 grams of fat, 15 grams of carbs, and 3 grams of protein. So they're not bad, and I'm making them like last about 4 or 5 days. So I'm like literally eating like 100 calories a day. And then I got this coffee. What was that? I got this coffee for tonight because I'm doing such a long live stream that I'm like, if I get tired through it, I'll start drinking this. And this is this Califia cold brew all black coffee signature blend from Central America. Oh my god, how fun is that, right? And what's interesting about it is 20 calories, and there are serving sizes 1. So this is 20 calories, this whole thing. This was $4.39. No ma'am, okay? This better be the best stuff out there. And then I bought 2, because I wanted macaroni and cheese. I bought 2 of these Annie's. Now, Annie's is not my favorite brand, I have to be honest with you, and I haven't tried these. But I tried these gluten-free Annie's homegrown rice, pasta, and cheddar macaroni and cheese. I got 2 of them because they're 220 calories per container, so that's 440 for dinner. And then 4.5 grams of fat, 40 carbs, I'm not counting carbs, and 4 grams of protein. So that's what I'm having for dinner, That's pretty good, I think. Can you tell any difference in me? I can't. Like, I look and I think I can, and then I'm like, no, you're just deceiving yourself. It's all just a bunch of fakery. So, I wish I was thinner. I wish I was a little bit taller. I wish I was a baller. But, you know, it's all... Here's my water. Like, this is like my life. This is what's in my bag, okay? Just bottles of water. I drink so much water. I do think that water is the liquid of life, though, honestly. Like, I'm just feeling so much better, and I don't feel like I've changed so much. Like, I mean, I've changed my diet, and I haven't been eating any meat. And, you know, the interesting thing about that is, it's not just that I was eating meat, okay? You know, chicken fingers, chicken things, chicken nuggets, hamburgers. It's also, I think, the kind of meat that I was eating. I was eating, like, all fast food, which we all know is, like, the bottom of the barrel, like, mistreated animals and, you know, all that kind of stuff. I mean, you can't read into this stuff and not know that, okay? So if you're eating your Big Mac, you're not getting any kind of grade A quality meat. You know what I mean? And so I have to believe that a lot of my body, like the feeling better, is not putting all of that crap into it. I would like to try, now September we're not going anywhere. Alex is going away Labor Day weekend, and it's gonna be Pee-Pee and Peter's Bachelor Weekend. It's Pee-Pee and Peter's Bachelor Weekend. Don't worry about us. I love to do that at people when they drive by. Cause we'll be just fine. He got tickets, or he got media passes to go to North Coast, I think is what it's called. It's a music festival in Chicago. he asked me if I wanted to go. I said no, I'd just rather stay home. So he's taking his friend Kayla with him, and they're gonna go up there Saturday and come back either Monday morning or Sunday night after the festival. So that's about my life. And so September I'll be at home, and I've really thought about doing an all raw foods diet unless I go out to dinner, and then just doing vegetarian out. Because it is almost impossible to do a raw foods diet if you go out to dinner. I mean, it just really is, unless you get a salad with no dressing on it. I mean, I don't really, maybe you guys live in cities like where a lot of the restaurants cater to vegans, but that's not the case in Indianapolis. Now, there are probably 20 restaurants in Indianapolis that have really, you know, extensive vegetarian and vegan menus. But I mean, I was really surprised. We went to Champs last time, and the only thing on Champs menu, unless I like especially made them order something, would have been, that I could have had, would have been the black bean burger, and that's what I ended up having. And it was really good, but I was like, or if I got sides, you know, like a side of broccoli and a side of rice, but I mean, that's not really that fun to go out and eat that way. So anyway, it is what it is. But my body is feeling fantastic. I'm sleeping better on less amount of time, or less hours. And I will say what's interesting to me is the more water I drink, the more I feel like dehydrated. Not dehydrated is the wrong word. The more water I drink, the more water I crave. Does that make sense? Like, but so many people have like noticed like changes in my skin, like probably not today, but like, even Alex was like, the line in your forehead is kind of like not as deep as it used to be. And, which I don't care a whole lot about that stuff. I had Botox twice. I'll never do it again. That was at my dad's encouragement, because he was like, you'll feel better about yourself, blah, 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 whatever. I'm like, yeah, but Dad, you've never had Botox. He's like, well, because I don't believe in all that bullshit. But anyway, I got Botox twice. I'll never do it again, because the second time, it just made me look so fake and so distorted. And I was like, and you know, it kind of like goes away after 6 or 8 weeks, or 3 to 6 months. And so I was just like, no, I believe in aging authentically. I don't care about all that kind of stuff. You know, I just, and I do feel like society's norms make that different for men than women. Like, I think it's so hard for women, because I feel like women have this like, in society, women are supposed to keep up with youth, and how can you possibly? I mean, time comes, you know. I remember my mom just looked so good always, but her hands like started aging, and I remember it kind of freaked me out. But what I didn't realize was my mother every day, like, she never wore a lot of makeup. She swore she had great skin because she never wore a lot of makeup. And, you know, she didn't lotion her face a ton. I will tell you what my mother did, and this is so bizarre, okay? And I know people are gonna be like, oh, no, you don't do that to skin. But my mother's skin was flawless, and maybe it's genetic. You know, my cousin Caroline has very good skin too. My Aunt Kathy had perfect skin, so maybe it's genetic. I don't know. But, my friends in high school made fun of me because I never had acne, never once. I never got any kind of acne in high school. I mean, I've had like maybe a pimple once in my entire life, and I think it was in my 20s. And, but my mother would wash her face every night with bar soap. She swore by this. And she would put Vaseline on her face. Like Vaseline out of a jar. And then in the morning, she would get up and she would wash her face off, and that was what she did. And she always just wore lipstick and eyeliner. And maybe every once in a while she'd go like that with her lipstick for some rouge on her cheek. But that was all the makeup she wore. And you know, she would say, it's not that I think there's anything wrong with wearing makeup. She's like, honestly, I just don't know how to do a lot of it. You know, she's like, if I knew how to do more makeup, I might do more makeup. So, you know, I would feel better about myself. Because a couple times she went and got her makeup done, and she looked like, you know, what do you call it? A clown at the fair kind of thing. I mean, she just looked too much, you know. My mom's friend one time bought her a package. My mom had alopecia, and all her hair fell out. And when it grew back and a different color, and it was like dark brown. She ended up getting it colored. But she had it colored. My mom's hair was platinum blonde her entire life. Beautiful color. And so when her hair grew back, her friend bought her this Glamour Shots kit, okay, or like you should go and get all these pictures taken. And my mom, like, so she had them taken, and they put like this silk scarf around her, and they curled her hair all up like some old lady bouffant. And then the package was like all these 8x10s, like framing, right? And so my mom got this thing in the mail. And she, I mean, literally, my mother would laugh so hard sometimes she would start crying. And she was laughing so hard, I thought something was wrong. And she goes, oh my God, wait till you see these pictures. And she put that picture straight up out in her living room because she wanted everybody to see the foolishness of it. She was like, that is such bullshit. She was like, I do not look anything like that. And that Glamour Shots aged me 30 years. And it so did, because it just made her look, I totally remember. She was like, oh my God, I'm gonna pee, I'm laughing so hard. She thought it was the funniest thing ever. Like, it made one eye look real crooked because of the makeup. Anyway, all right, you guys, I'm gonna go home and eat my dinner. Oh, Mom, I miss you. I'm gonna eat my dinner and let the dogs out. Who let the dogs out? Bye. Hello. Like, what shirt do I have on? I couldn't see anything. It is 1:30. I just got off of my live stream just a little bit ago. I got this coffee. That coffee I showed you, I drank it at like, okay, so I went on at 8, 9, 10, like 10, and it's now 1:30. I am like wired for sounds, you guys. Like almost kind of like panicky wired. I don't like it. So I'm real over the fact that I drank that coffee. I will never get that again. And it tasted like shit. Did my big pajama party tonight on YouNow, which was a lot of fun. And that coffee is making my stomach hurt really bad. I did my big pajama party, and it was very fun. And then, let's see, what else did I do? That was it. And Alex came on for like an hour. I couldn't believe it. It was so much fun. People are always like, oh, have Alex on. He came on and he sat out there for like an hour, and we answered questions, and it was really cute. It was so much fun. If you want to see him on there for an hour, you can go subscribe to my channel on YouNow. Just go to my channel on YouNow, and you can subscribe. It's $4.99 a month, and you get all kinds of special things. But one of the things you get is you get access to all of the archives of my old live streams, because I don't post them on my channel anymore because I want people that subscribe to get something special. And you can go in there and you can watch when he was on there. And it was about at the hour mark that he came out, the first hour mark. So anyway, also if you want to just subscribe to that channel, I make like half of that $4.99 I think a month or something, and you get all kinds of little perks and stuff. And you don't have to, but if you want to, you can get all the archives of the live streams. And you'll see this on Saturday. I am also going on Saturday on my live stream, so please come and visit. It will be 6 or 7 or 8 I'm going on. I'm not sure yet. I'm going to tweet it out tomorrow what time I'm going on. I had some really awesome guests tonight. Tessa came on. What an amazing young lady. Very, very cool. And she goes to school at the University of Georgia. Go Georgia. I can't remember what she said though. Something dogs, maybe. Anyway, I know it's not Bulldogs because that's Butler University. I guess colleges could have, more than one college could have the same mascot, couldn't they? And she was such a great example of like young people that are making good choices. And Tessa, if you're watching this, because I know you said you watch all of my vlogs, you were so inspiring to me, you know? And she sat on there and she said, Peter, you inspire me so much and whatever. And it's like, I don't see that sometimes. Like, it means the world to me when I hear that from people, especially from younger people. And let me tell you what happened when I got off there. So Tessa, thank you so much. You made my night. And Alex came on there, another Alex, and he was really inspiring, and all these people. I had made a video on my main channel about James Charles, and if you don't know who James Charles is, he is a makeup artist that's 18 years old. He just graduated from high school and he moved to LA, and he's really struggling right now, like not sure if that's what he wants to do. And so I made this video about him, and everybody thought I was going to come and drag him. And I talked on there and I said, hey, like, you know, he's 18 years old. He's a pretty neat kid. He's trying to figure out what he wants to do with his life. He should take some time and just figure it out. He's 18, and I was not the same person at 18 or 19 or, I mean, you change literally every year. Even, you know, 44 to 45, I'm not the same person I used to be. And he commented on my video and he was like, one of my subscribers told me to come in and watch your video. He was like, thank you so much, especially coming from a drama channel. It means so much to me that you really understand. You know, I didn't want to let my people down, but I am going to take some time. And, you know, it was the first person, Simply Kenna came and commented on my video, but it was the first person that I have ever made a drama video about that has said, thank you for what you said. I really took it into consideration because I don't ever mean my videos to be like dragging somebody. I mean them really just to be suggestions and say, from the outside looking in, let me give you a different perspective. I'm not saying that what I'm about to say is right. I'm just saying, think about it. We all could use several suggestions, several point of views. And I thought that was awesome that he said that. I was just super impressed. So I just think it shows even more his maturity for his age, you know, to be able to say something like that. You know, and I heard he has a fantastic singing voice, so maybe he'll go on and makeup won't be his thing, and he'll end up, you know, putting out albums or doing theater or pursuing his singing or something like that. He said something about having an a cappella group, so that would be very cool. You know, I mean, be a dreamer at whatever age. I have all kinds of dreams of things I still want to do. I talked on here the other day about, you know, wanting to win an Oscar. It was interesting because somebody said, you're a writer, you might win an Oscar for writing. It would probably mean more to me to win an Oscar for, like, a book that I wrote that was adapted into a screenplay than it would for me to actually win, like, a best, like, actor or supporting actor. When I was little, I wanted to be an actor. That was my dream, to be a famous actor, you know? It's never too late, I guess. Somebody left me the nicest comment on my vlog tonight. I don't know who you are, but they said something about, they thought I had said winning an Emmy, and they were talking about winning an Emmy, and they said, you know, the rest of the world just hasn't been introduced to you yet, and everybody needs to be exposed to you. And I just, you guys, like, it's so crazy to me, like, I literally just get on here and talk, and I just talk about what's in my head at the moment, and, you know, half of it's probably just not ignorance, I don't know. I just talk about what's in my heart and what's in my soul, and, you know, I do the best I can on a daily basis. That's what I expect from others, to be the best human beings we can, to chase our dreams, and to live passionately, kindly, and compassionately. And, it's not hard to do that, you know, like, and the fact that I touch other people's lives, I never thought, like, starting on BookTube. You know, I really started BookTube as a way to market books of mine and to get to know other booktubers and things like that. I never thought I would ever have, it never crossed my mind that someone would say something to me like, you inspire me. And I have to honestly say to you, those things that I talk the most about, that people say inspire them, about chasing your dreams, or my marriage, or my mother, or my father, or my addiction, or my recovery, or my weight, all of my truths, okay, some of which are not pretty, are the things that seem to inspire people. And so I hope the message to you is this, is that live your truth, okay? Whatever your truth is. Don't ever be ashamed of who you are. Don't ever be afraid to share with somebody else your truth, because it is your truth. And if you don't like it, change it. And then share your change, share the truth of your change. And people will be attracted to that, you know? And there was this YouTuber around, she was rather ballsy back in the day. Her name was Johnny Boy XO, a trans YouTuber. Hilarious, and I loved her. And we interviewed her for our website, and I said, why do you think people are attracted to watching your videos? And she said, I think real knows real, and I just don't bullshit. And I believe that, you know? I think that the reason why people say, Peter, you inspire me, is I say things that people feel in their hearts. And I think it's a connectivity between me and you when you're out there. I don't think I'm saying anything special. I don't think I'm saying anything enlightened. I don't think I'm fucking Oprah Winfrey. You know, I don't think that I have it all figured out. In fact, a lot of those, like, philosophical gurus, like Deepak Chopra and things like that, are a little arrogant to me. I don't think they're very humble. I think they feel like they have it all figured out. And I'm like, you know what? Remain teachable. And all of us should remain teachable. It's why I really, really love, like, the teachings of the Dalai Lama. And, but I think a lot of times those people get these weird followings. It's like in the 70s, what was that guy's name? The Maharishi Mahesh Yogi. You know, like, and he had this weird following, but he's very arrogant. You need rock stars following him, you know? And there's no, like, humility in that. And humility to me, it's like Mother Teresa or Gandhi, you know? Like, I'm never gonna be Gandhi. I'm just not, you know? But, like, I'm not. I'm like, let's just be for real. I'm no Gandhi. I'm no Mother Teresa. But I can aspire to be like that. You know, I can aspire to be humble, of service. And maybe my service is sharing my story, so other people don't feel so all alone. So other people feel like, I can do this too. Peter's relatable. Oh, wow, he did this and he changed and now I can do it. You know, and that's what I want to be for people, you know? And so when I get those messages and I get those comments, and Tessa said something to me tonight that meant so much to me. She said, you know, to say in the comment section is one thing, but to come on here, I wanted to do this face to face because it means so much more. And she had me tearing up at the end because it's just like, it's incredible to put a face to a comment and see that and know that I am allowed to be part of somebody's journey. So thank you for allowing me to be part of your journey, because it's the coolest shit, you know? It just really is. And it was interesting. I asked her or Alex, who I guessed it, I said, what are things that you like? I think I was asking her, and she said she loves when I talk about my mom. So let's talk about my mom. You know, my mom grew up in a weird time. She was born in 43. She graduated from high school in 61. She grew up in the period of the civil rights. And it was something that really tugged at my mom's heartstrings, because I think my mother grew up, and my aunt, who really rarely saw differences in people. And I think why was partly because they grew up so poor. They grew up inner city, which I think there is a difference to that, because they grew up next to immigrants from all different countries. They grew up next to oppressed people. My grandma got on a bus every day and, you know, rode to work and could hardly pay the rent sometimes. And, you know, I think through that, my mom saw that people are people. You know, I found out later in life that she and my aunt were put in foster care because my grandma and my grandfather couldn't afford to keep them during the summers, because the only apartments they could afford to stay in didn't allow children. Okay, I have to turn this off because there's a police officer next to me, so I'll be right back. Okay, I pulled into the gas station to go to the bathroom. That's interesting. People always are sending me stuff that cracks me up. So, you know, like I was talking about my mom, and both of my parents were very poor growing up. The difference, though, I think, was that, like, so my dad grew up in a small town, Fort Wayne, Indiana, and really in a town area called Waynedale. And he was very poor, and they had an outhouse till he was 21 and things like that. But he was the youngest of 5 kids. You know, they went to church 3-4 times a week. But, like, you know, family dinners every night, all that kind of stuff. But, like, I don't think they knew they were poor. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, I just don't think they saw a lot of poverty around them, or maybe like everybody around them was like that. Whereas my mom went to high school and she went to middle school with kids that like lived 3 streets over, that lived in basically mansions, that today people still want to live in these houses, and they're like $1.5 million houses that were friends of my mom's in high school. So, you know, she was living in a shotgun house with 2 bedrooms and a shared bathroom. And she saw it. You know, she saw how hard my grandma worked. She saw all that kind of stuff. And I think it was hard for her, you know? I think it was really, really hard for her. And she was a fighter, and my aunt was a fighter. And both of them were very, very, you know, hard workers all their life. My mother was intellectually a fighter, though, and this is really important, you know? If you met my aunt was not somebody that was a fighter. Like, my aunt, like the majority of her friends, were very, very wealthy. My aunt did very well in her life, but she wasn't, like, wealthy. Does that make sense? And, I mean, very comfortable, traveled a lot, had a wonderful life, beautiful clothes, but she worked for everything that she had. But even when she was with her friends that were millionaires 10 times over, you would never know that there was a difference, and she never made somebody feel less. And one of the things that was interesting at her funeral was that several people got up and talked about service work that my aunt had done. Now, I was really close with my aunt, and all of this service work in the community that she had done that I was never aware of. Like, I never knew she had done this stuff and, like, volunteered and helped out and all this kind of stuff, you know? So my aunt was like a fighter, but for herself. Do you know what I mean? Like, and helping other people get out of their situations. My mother was intellectually a fighter. Like, she would pick fights with people. And so, you know, in a way, I do a disservice to the story, because I talk about, like, I do a disservice to her story sometimes, because I talk about how wise my mother was, and I talk about, you know, how wonderful she was, and all of those things are true. You know, she was a compassionate, kind person. She didn't deal with, you know, intolerance. She didn't deal with oppression. She just would not tolerate it. She hated it. But at the same time, she was totally, totally afraid, right? And if she got in a situation where somebody was coming for her intellectually, it was like claws. And she would put them in their spot very quickly, to the point where people sometimes didn't like my mom, because she wasn't afraid to challenge people, you know? And today, I think we would call those social media warriors a little bit, whereas my mother was a social activist warrior her entire life. It did not matter if you were at Christmas dinner. If somebody said something out of line, my mother quickly put them in their place, okay? I mean, to a point where she would decimate your character right in front of you if you made an ignorant statement. And she didn't care, okay? For the greater good. Now, when you look at that overall, that's awesome, right? You think, well, we should have people that stand up for people that are less than. And I agree with that, okay? But my mother didn't have a lot of people around her, because people got tired of it after a while. I mean, they'd just be like, my God, you fight everything. Like, my dad said she never knew how to pick her battles. Like, everything was a battle. Everything with her. And it was true, you know? And I remember the last Christmas that I spent with my mom, and we had rented a cabin in Gatlinburg, Tennessee. And my ex and I had just broken up, so he wasn't going. My cousin was going to come down, and she didn't end up coming, and a friend of ours was going to come. So it ended up being my mom and I in this cabin for 7 days. And the Prime Minister of Pakistan was assassinated. And my mother, literally, I mean, like, she could not move from the TV. She was so obsessed on watching this on CNN, okay? And talking about this woman, and I cannot remember the woman's name, but she just was like, I just can't believe this is happening. She's like, you know, like, what is coming with this? To be honest with you, some days I am so thankful that my mother is not alive right now to see the condition of the United States. It would break her heart. And she would get angry from a point of intellectual, what's the word I'm looking for? She would get angry because she would feel like, from an intellectual humanity point of view, like, why are people not growing as humanitarians? Like, why are people not becoming wiser? Why are we retreating back to that? And it would be very disturbing to her, and she wouldn't understand it, and she would get frustrated with it. And so I'm very thankful to some degree that she's not here to see this. It would make her very, very sad. But sometimes I'm not real honest, you know, like, it wasn't like my mom sat back in a chair and just was like, just spewed wisdom everywhere. You know, she just didn't. I mean, there are a lot of things that she said, but she was very afraid, you know? Like, she had all of these, and this is what I wanted to share on here. She had all of these dreams, you know, that she wanted to accomplish. You know, she wanted to be a costume designer for Edith Head at, you know, Metro Goldwyn Mayer or whatever. And she wanted to be an attorney, a trial attorney, and live in, you know, San Francisco Harbor or San Francisco Bay on a, like, you know, houseboat. She always wanted to do that. She wanted to live in New York City, you know, and go to Elaine's on Thursday nights and hang out with Woody Allen. And she wanted to be, you know, like, be a Broadway actress. She had all these dreams of things that she never did, but fear kept her grounded. She was totally afraid to do anything. And I would say to her, Mom, take some chances. And she'd be like, okay. And she'd be like, do you take chances? I'd be like, yes, Mom, I'm a counselor and I went to graduate school. And she'd be like, well, I went to graduate school, you know? And so I thought I had taken a lot of risks. I thought I had taken a lot of challenges. But what I know in retrospect now is that I really hadn't taken any challenges at all. I was just as afraid as my mom, you know? And, you know, it's interesting because my mother loved the book To Kill a Mockingbird. Absolutely loved it, you know? And in the first paragraph of the book, it says something to the effect of that, you know, like Roosevelt was president and, you know, the president had recently told us that we had nothing to fear but fear itself. And I think that there was something about that with my mother, like that famous statement that she really related to, you know, that we have nothing to fear but fear itself, but she feared everything. And she really feared fear, you know? And in 12-step programs, fear stands for fuck everything and run. Or what's the other one? Oh shoot, somebody, false evidence appearing real. And that is what fear is. It's when we run from stuff. It's when we're scared of the outcome of what if or what if not, that we don't do it, you know, instead of saying, throwing ourselves into the risk of not knowing, you know. And really, that's what I love so much about Thelma and Louise. If you guys have seen Thelma and Louise, I don't want to ruin it for you, but do you remember the last scene? I will never forget seeing that movie with my mom. She and I went and saw that movie together. She loved it. I love it. It's one of my all-time, Thelma and Louise is like one of my all-time favorite movies. Do y'all remember how it ends? My mother and I left when we got in the car. We're smoking cigarettes, talking about it, right? Because that's what you do when you leave Thelma and Louise, because they smoke like chimneys in that movie. And I said, God, that was so good, but it was so sad. She goes, well, what was sad about it? And I go, it was just sad. She goes, it was liberating. She goes, that was the most liberating movie I've ever seen in my entire life. I said, are you kidding me? I said, it ends so tragically. They die. She goes, they didn't die. They made it. I go, Mom. She goes, it was midair. And it's all perspective of how you look at the world, you know, and it's very like, I mean, I think we know they don't make it, right? Like, am I the only one that thinks that? Or do other people out there think they make it? I mean, they don't make it. Like, it's obvious, right? You see the wheels coming off and everything. But, it just was such a fantastic movie. And when, you know, Thelma turns to Louise and says, just keep going. Let's just keep going, you know? And that's life. You have to take those risks. You have to take those challenges. And when my mom passed away, it was like, let's just keep going. Just keep going. And I hope, you know, somewhere up there, my mom is, you know, driving around in a convertible with Janis Joplin smoking a cigarette, or being on a Broadway play, you know, or whatever it is like that up there. And I do believe in an up there or there or wherever. I really do. But I didn't so much learn that life is short from my mother's death as I learned that the shortness of life, or whatever time you have, you need to make the most of. And those dreams that you have, do not put on sale for 10 years down the road. You know, do them tomorrow. Do them now. You want to start a YouTube channel? Start it. You want to start writing a book? Get up tomorrow morning and start writing that damn book. You want to go audition for community theater. Start something. Do your dream, whatever that dream is. You thought about going back to college? Go sign up for a class. It's time. you know? And it's like Ola came into my live stream tonight. I love Ola so much. And I don't think she even knows this. She's like somebody that's watched my videos from the very beginning. But she inspires me more than I think she thinks I inspire her. She doesn't even get it, right? And I talked on here about a dream project of like really like every day, like writing down your dream and your progress. And she would let me know every day how she was doing with her dream, which is her story, so I'm not going to tell it. And because one day she will have a YouTube channel, I know she will. And right now she's not ready to do that, but one day she will. And you know, this guy just brought this guy food in here from what did he bring him? Oh no, he took it back out. But you know, like, she identified her dream and then she followed through with it. And every day it was a little bit, you know. And my sponsor always says to me, you know, if a tree falls down in the woods, can you pick it up and move it? And I'm like, no. He says, if you cut it up into 100 pieces, can you move that tree a little bit at a time? Yep. And that's how you accomplish dreams. It's that easy. But you can't let your fear and you can't let your past keep you stuck. And my mom did that. You know, my mom did that a lot. All of her fears were based in things that happened in her childhood. Possible abuse, being she would call it fostered out. My aunt, when I said to her, Mom said that you guys were fostered out, she said, we were in foster care. No, we weren't. We were in foster care. You know, every fear that my mother had, she would base somewhere. She hated being in elevators, okay? Something bad was going to happen to her, closed spaces, you know, because of all of her history of her past. This is a woman that was in therapy sometimes 2-3 times a week for 10 years at a time with a psychoanalyst. She would let you know, I was with a psychoanalyst, okay? There's only like one guy in Indiana who's a psychoanalyst because you have to be professionally trained and they have to go through psychoanalysts alone. My mother was so disturbed from things that had happened to her as a child that she allowed that fear to continue to rule her through life. I think if she was here today, she would say, those fears are never going to go away. I'm going to have them for the rest of my life, but I can't use them as excuses to allow me not to live the life that I want to have and the fullest life possible. And I believe that, you know, like I've had so much shit I've had happen in my life, you know? And if I get on here and I talk about it, or if I talk about it to my counselor, or I talk about it to my friends or my sponsor, or I share it in 12-step meetings, then it slowly goes away a little bit, or I learn ways to cope with it, you know? And I learn that it doesn't have to rule me, but it can't stop me from having my dreams. There are a lot of people out there that have had a lot of shit happen to them in their lives, and they still live the life of their dreams. And I think it's really, really important, you know? And I loved my mother, and she was a beautiful person, and she was passionate and intellectual and so smart, you know, like she'd say things to me that I never understood. I mean, I'll never forget watching Fight Club with her, and I said something to her, and she goes, it was about Zen Buddhism. I go, what are you talking about? And she was like, well, Peter, this. I was like, that was like one of her all-time favorite movies. I went and saw Brokeback Mountain. She had seen it like twice by that point, and she called me and she said, what did you think? And I said, I thought it was a good gay movie. Okay, a gay man. I said, I thought it was a good gay movie. She said, you're wrong. And I said, she never had a problem telling me I was wrong. That's where I get it from, right? I said, what are you talking about? She goes, it was the greatest love story ever told between Jack and Ennis. I said, what are you talking about? She goes, it was the greatest love story ever told because it was uncompromised love that was never able to happen. It was very Romeo and Juliet all over again, you know? And, she ended up buying me the book, and I just read the book last summer, and it's a beautiful book. It's absolutely beautiful. The book is so much more telling than the story or the movie, but the movie is so well done. Such a smart woman. So smart that she could have accomplished every dream that she had. Charisma, character, personality. She could walk into a room and she could own it. But her fear of even getting in a car and driving at night terrified her. Her fear of getting on a plane or an elevator terrified her. She couldn't accomplish her dreams because of these boundaries that she put on herself. And so life has to be about breaking down the boundaries and not allowing those things to scare us anymore. And I want that for all of you guys. I want you to have your dreams. I want you to not let the fears of your life keep you stuck. And that's one of the messages I want for my life or for my videos and my, is to say, don't let fear keep you stuck. Because it isn't that my mom dying at 64 taught me that life is short. Yes, that was a a bystander or a, you know, byproduct of what I learned. But what I learned is, in the shortness of your life, accomplish what you want. And if you don't, at least chase after it, because it's the only chance you have, you know? I think that's it for tonight, you guys. I talked on my live stream for 4.5 hours. I'm gonna get up tomorrow and make a list of all the dreams I want to achieve. I haven't done that in a while. I've been 45. I haven't done it since I turned 45. And I want to make a list of what I want my life to look like when I turn 46 next year. So I want you to do it too. Sit down with a piece of paper and write that shit out. We're going to start this dream project. Ola proved to me that it can work. I talked about it in a video. She proved to me that it can work, and I'm doing it. So I want you guys to do it too. We're going to make all of our dreams come true. Seriously, okay? All right, you guys. I love you. Bye.